Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. Brian here, and of course, this is the Brian Shepherd Show. It is Friday. It is June 19th. And tonight we do have a guest, I hope, that will be joining us, Robert Definis, who wrote a children's book. And we'll get to that a little later in the show. So now I'm just waiting for some people to come on and realize that I am live right now. And hello to YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to obviously subscribe, hit the bell. It'll let you know when I go live. All my videos are mainly live for the time being. So I normally don't go live on Fridays, so this is a first for me, although I have done a show almost every single day, except for the original date that I'm supposed to be doing, which was Thursdays. I didn't do one last night. So yeah, a lot of people aren't used to me going live during the week. So as it stands right now, no one's watching. So yeah, let's go and see if we can get some people on here. Like I said, most people are not used to me going live on Fridays. Nope. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to share this. Oh, no, let me share it. Why? Oh, Lord. It does not let me share it. Oh. Nope. Let's see if I can post it. Okay, let's see if we can get a couple more people on here. Chris Evans, hello. Welcome. You are the only one here, sir. Only because it is Friday, and like I said, not a lot of people realize that I'm going live today, even though I've plastered it all over Facebook. I'm here. So, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I love how people can forget about me so easily. So, how are you doing, Chris? I hope all is well with you. I'm trying to see if that's him that just emailed me. I hope it is. Oh no, I'm live on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. More and more people are starting to show up. Hello and welcome. I do have a guest tonight. I am going to be talking to Robert Definis. Who's an author who just did a children's book. So that's going to be very interesting, to say the least. Johanna, hello, Johanna. I don't know if I can see you. Oh no, I can see people watching me, but it is not telling me who. So welcome. Hello, welcome. I can't see you. It's probably because you're watching from the Facebook. But anyways, so I'm just going to keep going because I'm not going to wait for people. So fantastic news. I told you guys a while back that I've wanted to take this show and go places and do different things, do outdoor stuff and whatever. So I think I might be starting to do that. went ahead and grabbed a drone. So we will be the owner of a drone, which is pretty awesome. I have to wait for it to be mailed and get here. So I'm pretty excited. I've never owned a drone. I've never flown one. But I think that this is going to help get those aerial shots of, wherever I am, so people can get a wider perspective of, what I'm seeing. So I think it's going to be awesome. So I'll have more information as we get along. That should be coming in Tuesday. Hello, Dan. Hello to my grandmother. Welcome. So I hope that I get that Tuesday and I get to play around with it come the weekend. So yeah, big things are happening. So yeah. So anyways, I'm still waiting to hear back from our guest. I hope that he comes on. I sent him the link like I did do with everyone. I did say 8:15, so he does have a couple of minutes. So Chris can't complain. Well, I could, but who wants to listen to that? You never know. A lot of people might want to listen to it right about now because nobody has anyone else to talk to. So, and I think it's another reason why people expect my shows and enjoy my shows. It's entertaining. I can entertain, right? Along with Dan Payton. Daniel Payton will be live starting right after this show, if I do my entire show, at 9 o'clock. So look for that. He's still reading his Star Trek fan fiction, and which has me in it. So you need to listen to it anyways. So anything with me in it is going to be fantastic writing, if I do say so myself. So yeah. You love my kitchen behind me. I love my kitchen. Will, thank you so much for commenting on my kitchen. Sadly, this is not my kitchen. This is just a green screen behind me. This does not exist back here. I wish that it did. But I could tell you this, that if it were a real room, this is probably what my kitchen would look like. So, yeah, no, it's a green screen. Well, so yeah, I can. Isn't that cool? That's my house. I am not in any way trying to hide my house. I know, I'm sorry. That's one of the reasons why I picked this picture, because it kind of represents what my kitchen would probably look like if I could have a kitchen like that. So yeah, I love the blue. That's why I picked out the picture. Because the last time when I did my living room picture, everyone thought it was my living room. So I wanted to change it up. So yeah, I know it's very deceiving sometimes. So, but you get used to it. My hands. What's up with my hand? Oh, I know my hands. Yeah. So, hello, Robert. I can see you. So yeah. So, but anyways, I apologize for people who think that this is my kitchen. It sadly it is not. Oh, I was hating your wealth. Oh, I by no means. Yeah, nope. I just like the picture. That's all. So that's the one I used. So yeah, I don't know what that's all about there, Will. But welcome. Thank you for commenting on my wealthy kitchen. So yeah. But anyway, so I've already told you about the guest. I'll have him give you more information as to why he's on here. But even though I've already told you why he's on here, so yeah. And then afterwards, you can catch Daniel when he goes live at 9:00. So that's going to be interesting. So, and I'm not going to miss it this time. I swear, Dan. You have watched all of my videos, and I've missed a couple of yours. So yeah. So I apologize. So, but I'm not going to leave Mr. Definis here hanging around forever. I'm going to bring him on, and we're going to get, if he's ready. He looks ready. Yeah. And we're going to talk. We're going to talk book. So, yeah. It's always good. Yeah. Hi.
How are you? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
All right, fantastic. It's a little slow. I think my connection's a little off tonight.
It probably will do that in the first time that we connect, and then after that you should be okay, I hope. Okay. So welcome. Thank you for coming on. I saw the email, obviously, and the book, which I thought was actually cute. I actually didn't think about children and what they might think is actually going on and why we're having to wear masks and wash our hands, and there's no more school. Everything's changing. So, I mean, I don't have children, but I'm glad to see that there are books out there that kind of explain it, and in a way that maybe I would hope that they would understand, because I don't know what I would say.
Yeah. So when I first, so I'm an educator by trade. That's my background. And as I say, the first couple of days were a little bit scary as a parent. You know, we really didn't know what to tell our children. School was being shut down. We weren't able to see relatives. You know, you're starting to see things on the news. They're picking up things, right? I mean, they're seeing things too. Their children are observational learners. So they take in their environment, and that's how they learn and grow. So that was what was happening in our house. And I figured, you know, it kind of came in a cute way. My son and I were teasing my daughter about the Corona monster. And so, it kind of came very organically. But after a few days, and I put some words and did some illustration, and they loved the material. I thought I'd get it out there to my networks, and it took off from there. And since then, there have been dozens. I'm collaborating right now with roughly about 20 other authors that are writing in this subject area and tackling all kinds of issues related to this that I didn't even think of. As far as children might be asking questions about, loved ones and sick ones, and they might be experiencing grief and death in their family. So there's other topics that I think are just as important that are being addressed. And this is a timely topic, but we're also seeing a kind of a resurgence and some spiking in different parts of the country. So while I wrote something that was timely and was tackling something in the moment, I have a unfortunate feeling that this book is going to be used for some time to come as well.
Yeah, I can actually see that happening. Yeah. So to let everybody know, the book is called How to Defeat the Icky, Filthy, Creepy, Slimy Corona Monster, which I think is kind of cute. So you kind of told us how you came up. Why for children, though?
Again, I'm kind of in that space. So I do, I teach and I coach, young people. So I think also, the best material out there sometimes is explained at a kid-friendly level. And I kept it, if you read, you read the book, I'm not getting into the politics and the science behind coronavirus. I'm getting into really three things: wash your hands, cover your cough and sneeze, and just practice a little bit of, social distance. And I think these are three very simple things that not only children can do, but everybody can do just to do their part, right? We're not asking for a ton of effort and work to go into this. We're just asking to have some healthy manners and habits. Um, Writing it in rhyme tends to stick right to the head.
Hmm.
So even my own children, when they're washing their hands, I catch them repeating some of the book. So that was one of the reasons, is how do I get that to be cemented in, a child's head? And that's why we went with rhyme. I've been told that, it's a quick read. I mean, it's like, for an adult, it's like 30 seconds. You're skimming the book. Um, but I also think sometimes we can gravitate towards our younger years and we can take something out of that. There are thousands and thousands of children's books with great messages, and timely messages.
Mm, absolutely. Um, I don't know if you're able to see comments as they come in from Facebook and YouTube. You might have to click something, I'm not sure, but just to let you know that you could if you wanted to. So if anyone has any questions, now's the time to start asking. I will hopefully get to everyone's question here pretty soon. So, um, yeah, I thought it was interesting because, like I said, I didn't know that there was books already kind of written for kids about it until I followed the link and saw yours on Amazon. And then, obviously they give you suggestions down below of similar type. Um, I didn't really find any of the other ones to be as interesting as yours, though.
There's actually a really interesting story around that as well. When I wrote it and I knew it had to get out in, kind of quickly.
Yep.
Um, I actually was one of the first ones to put it on Amazon, and Amazon actually red flagged it.
Oh.
And they, yeah. So sometimes it's not good to be the first, because I had to wait close to 30 days for them to unflag it. And it was an absolute nightmare. I had to use other uh, platforms to get the book online. And it, unfortunately, you have to play in the Amazon sandbox. They're one of the top dogs in the business, and it was really painful to watch every single day titles like mine get approved, but I was still in the queue waiting because they kept red flagging it because they said it breached their new policy. And yeah, it took almost a whole month to get it unflagged and get it available. And by that time, you started to see more and more titles, and
Hmm.
people start to write more and more about it. But to be honest with you, I've done very well. Last Friday, it crossed over the 30,000 threshold of downloads. I sold over 3,000 copies. It's done more than I would have imagined. And to be honest with you, it was just the messaging that was important to me. I wanted to make sure families had good quality material to have that discussion with their children. It wasn't about making money. As a matter of fact, the 30,000 are free downloads. So, and the reach has been all across the world. I've had anywhere from Australia to South Africa to different parts of Europe. I get emails every day from people just, thanking me, and also sharing videos with their children reading the book. And I think that that's gone a long way.
Absolutely. So if it wasn't for the education background and teaching, would you still have written something?
I've been, it's a good question. It's a really good question. I've been writing academically. So my background, I have a doctorate degree in education.
Hmm.
I've been writing more academic on the academic side. One thing I wanted to do for several years was to start to get into children's literature. It's a passion of mine. And I actually haven't started two books before this, but it's taken a little bit more time because they're a little bit lengthy and they're more passion projects. So it was interesting that this subject matter came along, and within probably 10 days, I kind of threw it together, put the illustration behind it. I've only been illustrating for probably less than 10 years. Um, and so it's not really was not really one of my skill sets. So it's one of those where I don't think I'm as good as some of the other authors and illustrators out there. So I've been kind of just waiting to get the two other books kind of in the hands of readers. But one will be published August 1st, and the other one will be next year. So should be an interesting year.
And what's the genre with those?
So the next one is it's a first day book. My daughter, she's entering kindergarten this year, and 90% of it was done. But interestingly enough, I'm going back and doing a lot of revision because kindergarten will look very different at the beginning of this year, right? So
Yeah.
um, it's not quite done yet, and I'm going back and kind of reworking and tweaking some of the areas to meet what most likely might happen in the fall. We don't know if children will be back in regular classroom settings, so my daughter's first year of school will look very different than her brother's 6 or 7 years ago.
Mm. Interesting. That's very interesting. Um, hmm. Did you always want to write books?
No, not at all.
Yeah. Okay.
When you do academic writing,
Mhm.
it's very draining because it's research based. It's very intensive. It's a lot of editing, and my dissertation took close to 3.5, 4 years to write. When I was done with that, I didn't think I'd ever write anything again. But then you kind of get back into it, and again, like I said, my passion was to get start writing in the children's literature space, and I think that this has rekindled some of my energy, to be honest with you. um, Not only because it's taken off a little bit, but also because it's been really neat just kind of interacting with readers, talking to different people all over the world about children's literature and writing very specifically to, I would call it, contemporary issues, things that are kind of in the forefront of children, and not just writing about the Three Little Pigs and doing a rewrite, or touching on something that has already been done, but
Mm.
more about touching on something that's currently in the face of children as they're growing.
So you said you're currently working on something similar to the virus book that's out now, or
So yeah, the first day book will address like children returning back to school, and how the virus has impacted a new school year.
mm-hmm.
And then I'm also working on a sports book, a series, and it's about two friends who Dexter and Dalton, who try different sports. They sign up for baseball, and what are the challenges and opportunities of playing little league baseball, and another one will be on basketball and soccer, and it just introducing children to new sports, something they may have not have tried.
Mm-hmm.
Also, team play and working with coaches and youth coaches. Also, touching upon what the role of parenting and coaching look like on at the youth level, right? What's the parents' responsibility when they're on the sidelines? And I have some drafts with that, and hopefully, I'm hoping by 2021, spring of 2021, I'll have the first one ready to go.
Perfect. Okay. Let's see. Will has a question. Has he found it hard to write during lockdown? He has, with anxiety and all that. Curious what he thinks.
So actually, this has been refreshing for me personally because I can never get to. I wear a lot of different hats. My background is in mental performance and sports psychology. I coach two teams at the college level. I'm like constantly running nonstop, and this has been great because it's just uninterrupted time. I can't do
Mm,
anything on the soccer field. A lot of my clients have, everything is stopped in their spaces. So this has personally allowed me to kind of get the motor going and start delivering and accomplishing and crossing the finish line. But I can absolutely understand those who write for a living and that is their main source of income, where they could fall in and get paralyzed because there's only so much during the day that you can do at a computer, right? You have to get up, you got to get out, you got to get walk. We
that's
talk about this a lot in people who experience any type of writer's block. Why are they experiencing writer's block? Well, sometimes it's because they're too focused on the subject at hand, and they need to get out and try something different, go for a car ride, take a weekend off, because that starts to kind of get the creative juices flowing. And if you can't do that, you're locked down. I can see how that can be very difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. I know it's driving me absolutely crazy. So it's crazy. It is. Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure there's going to be more questions. What was my next question? I noticed that, the guests that I've been talking to lately, I guess my one question has been, have you been finding yourself doing anything that you normally would not do because of COVID? So are you binge watching something with your kids? Are you doing something that you just like a bad habit of?
Interestingly, no, I'm more of an eat out kind of guy, and I've been like, so I've had to go to the grocery store, and I feel like I'm binge shopping and throwing away so much stuff that, like, I'll be in the grocery store and I'll get bananas. I don't eat bananas. Like, why am I getting bananas? Like, but it's almost like impulsive buying at the grocery store,
Mhm.
because I don't know, there hasn't really been too much to do, and it's not something I usually do. I would say probably a few nights of the week I'm out. We eat out mostly because of my schedule. So that would be one thing. I did a little bit of binge watching, at the early stages of the lockdown. Not too much. I'm doing a lot of reading, revisiting some authors that are favorites of mine. But mostly, to be honest with you, I'm tackling a lot of these projects that have been on the shelf for so long.
Mm.
It's been really cool to be able to go back and, like, something's been on the shelf for a year, to pull it out and say, all right, you have no excuse really. You got to complete this now, because you actually have the time. You can't use that as an excuse.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I've been finding myself kind of going back and revisiting some things. So yeah, I got all the time in the world here. Um, are you in a state where dining is an option? Has it
So
returned?
we're in Pennsylvania, and
Okay.
we just our county we're using colored stages. I know everywhere does something a little bit different,
Yeah.
but we're in yellow. Next Friday we go to green. Our restaurants, we were out to lunch today. They're outside. You can do the tables. Obviously, you have to use all of the precautions. Um, there's nothing wrong with that. The weather's been pretty mild here in Pennsylvania for the spring and early parts of this, the onset of summer. But I'm looking forward to, hopefully within the next 30, 60 days, that more restaurants will open up, more public areas will open up. And obviously, we have to be respectful to what's going on. But I do think it's time. There is obviously, and I'm sure you've touched upon it with other guests, there's a mental well-being piece of this that really has to be accounted for.
Hmm.
And someone who works in the space and works with athletes, there is after you get past acceptance and grief, you got to move on, and you got to transition into what's the next phase to get us to some level of normalcy. And I think we're hopefully going to enter that. And of course, we're going to see some spikes, and we're going to have to be cautious, and things could change and go back. And we got to have a little bit of flexibility. But I'm very eager to get back into the community and to patronize a lot of our local establishments and small businesses.
Mm. Yeah. We have the outdoor seating for restaurants now. I think Monday. I think Monday, because I'm in Massachusetts, so we are. I think it's phase 3 on Monday. People correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Monday is when more of the restaurants are going to open up. I'm still skeptic. I'm still staying home, kind of for the most part, because stores right now that are opening are crazy because no one's been able to do anything, for the lockdown, like buy clothes and all that other stuff. So, but I know different states are different. So, yeah, it's crazy. So, will we see another coronavirus book for children?
I think
You pretty much covered it up.
yeah, I think I covered it.
Yeah.
And the nice thing is, I'm working again. We have a group of authors. We call it, Authors Unite to Fight COVID-19. And there's like 20 of us, and like I said, all of us have a different spin or a different, maybe, a different position within tackling this. And we've been talking, offline, and we believe that the book can come off the shelf at any time, right? COVID-19, you know even though we are, hopefully we will have some type of vaccine and remedy down the road, and we'll have a better understanding of all of this. This is something that if in 2 to 3 years there's an outbreak or there's some type of issue that we have to revisit, this comes right off the shelf again.
Mm.
So I feel pretty good that I don't need to to tackle anything else. Like I said, it's been well received. It's exceeded my expectation. This was something that I actually never thought when I wrote it. It was for the kids. I didn't really even think I'd put it on Amazon, but after a couple people read it, they're like, you know what? Why don't you just throw it up there, see what happens? And after I actually got the denial from Amazon, that kind of like put a fire under me. I'm like, okay, Amazon, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna go and find platforms and people, and I'm gonna give it away. And it started to kind of roll from there. So I feel very good about what it's been able to accomplish. And you know, you got to move on from this project and find something else. And I feel like I got two really good ones. There's also a third project that I'm not going to start until these two are done, but it tackles other issues that we've experienced this particular year. And
Mhm.
this has been a very, it's been a very wild ride, and we have to anticipate that if grown-ups are feeling anxiety, pressure, stress, confusion about all of the things that are going on, we have to be reasonable that children are experiencing some layer of it as well. So
Mm.
I'm thinking about collaborating with another author and another illustrator to put like a poetry collection together about 2020. But that's kind of in its infancy.
Gotcha. So you didn't do any of the illustrations yourself for this book, or
I
you did?
did for this one. I did all of
Okay.
them for this one. Yeah.
Oh, so the whole thing. That was all
Yeah.
you. Oh,
Yeah.
very interesting. So, and for people who don't know, this book can be found finally on Amazon. uh, I believe I posted the link so people could grab the book. I will make sure I post it again. Um, yeah, I think it was just a fantastic idea. So I'm like, yeah, I could see where something like this would come in very handy. It's not very long. Like you said, it's in a rhyme. It's easily to, for kids to remember. Um, and it's to the point. It's, what we should be doing. So
I
I'm
also put it.
looking.
I also put it in, and I'll send you the link. I also put it in a video book. I had it narrated and kind of slightly animated to some degree, and I
Okay.
put it in a video book because children learn in a variety of modalities, and I wanted to have that opportunity for those that might not use an e-reader or the
Mhm.
ability to purchase a physical copy, that they would have the ability to have a video done of the book. And I also did an activity book, which took away the colors, and it's a drawing book, so you can color in it. And then also there are guided questions for parents at the bottom. So to be a little bit more engaging, you're reading it, they're coloring in it, and then you're also stopping and talking about, well, how does it make you? There's one section about the Corona monster. His teeth are crooked and green, and he's mean. Well, how does it feel when someone's mean? And you
Mm.
can stop in the book and you can have that discussion with your child or teacher or student. And so that's been available. That's been very popular. And also it has been translated into Spanish and Portuguese.
Mm.
So it will be available hopefully by the end of the summer in those languages as well.
Wow. Okay. I did not know all that. So this book has a lot of purpose, pretty much.
You get some email. I got an email from two other authors, and they're like, "Hey, listen, would you mind if we did some translation?" And I'm like, "The message is more important to me. Yes, let's get it out.
Yep.
Let's get it to children." This is not the interesting thing about the pandemic is that this wasn't isolated to the United States. It was a global pandemic. So
Mhm.
children all over. One of the first partners I had was the National Library of South Africa. They reached out to make it available to 200 of their affiliate libraries. Um,
Wow.
so that was the goal: is how can we get this in the hands of children and parents and teachers. So anybody out there that has ideas to get it, I'm giving I'm giving it away. Amazon, it's $1.99, and
Mhm.
all those proceeds, to be honest with you, we've been giving the proceeds to organizations that support COVID-19 families. So again, this was never about making a dollar. It's more about the message.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay, let's just check to see if there's any questions. I already wrote that one. The only other question is where in Pennsylvania? I don't. That's up to you to answer that one.
Just outside of Philadelphia.
Yeah, people are just pretty much saying I don't think you have to worry about this corona going anywhere anytime soon, which is probably true, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And as we transition, like I said, as we slowly transition back, it's something that can come off the shelf. I've done several read alouds for schools, virtually online here, doing some read alouds, and I'll probably do that and continue that through the summer and into the fall for camps and places that are interested. But I just feel like we can revisit this. Again, just talking about washing your hands, covering your cough, that's
Mm-hmm.
just good manners. So the Corona Monster is just a vehicle to actually have that discussion. So I think it'll just continue to keep moving forward, and you can use it in a variety of ways other than just the coronavirus.
True. That is
Yeah.
true. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Hmm. Have you gotten used to this whole? Is this your first interview this way?
No,
No.
I have had a few. It's been for me personally, because this is my first book, and talking with different people about the publication.
Mm-hmm.
All of them have been through Zoom or Google Hangout or a live feed. This is our new norm to some degree, right? We're gonna, even if we transition back and we can get into studio. I have a podcast that we go into a studio, but
Mm-hmm.
looking at things, I don't know if I'm going to go back, even if this is the case, because a lot of the technology has been enhanced. People can do this from their home. I personally like the interaction between people, being in front of somebody and talking one on one.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you are seeing a lot of people that will transition back to doing that. But I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity to do Zoom interviews and live feeds and chats and things like that. I find it's also very flexible, right? So it opens up the space to talk to people across the world. I've had a couple interviews in California, so this makes it a lot easier. Where we had to do this in person, we would have to be closer.
Well, I'm pretty sure that you're already used to talking in front of people. So
Yeah.
yeah, I am not. But no, I mean, a lot of guests have gotten used to it. I guess it's the new normal now, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not used to it, but yeah.
You're doing fine. You'll get there. We all get there.
I've been doing the show for 6 years. This is the first time I've actually had guests on video. It's from what people wanted. If viewers ask for something, half the time you have to try to give whatever they want. So, and it just goes as far as for readers as well. You try to make readers happy and write something. So, this is the new norm. So, but so far every guest has said, yeah, I'll do it. Absolutely no problem. So, yeah. I know that there was another question. I think I skipped it. You mentioned that you were finding time to read. What exactly are you reading, catching up on?
So I love so I'm an educator by trade. So I actually do a lot of reading in the children's genre. My kids are at that age, so we like trip over books in this house. And so it's been really cool to also have the kids at home. A lot of people are looking at it like, well, obviously there's a lot of setbacks that people are experiencing, but I kind of reframed the situation a little bit, and I look at it as, I don't know if I'll ever get 3 to 4 months of having my children here and being able to be with them daily. Our schedules never really align like that. So it's been really cool to just get on the floor, play Legos, pull out the books, share books from my childhood with them. Shel Silverstein, Jerry Spinelli, some Beverly Cleary, Judy Blume, things with my 11 and 12-year-old that when I was his age, I was pulling some of these titles off the shelf in the library, and now I can kind of sit down with him and share some of my enjoyment of children's literacy with them. So it's been mostly in that area. Like I told you, on the academic side, I needed a little bit of a break these last couple of years. There's only so much leadership books you can read and sports psychology books you can read. And then when you're reading it, it's like the same information over and over again. But a good children's book it'll kind of light you up a little bit. It'll bring you back to your wholesome childhood, and a lot of them have very important and timely messages that are very current in nature, talking about friendship and treating people kindly and being supportive and those types of messages. So we've been pretty much in that space in the last couple months.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so one more time. The name of the book is
How to Defeat the Icky, Filthy, Slimy, Creepy Corona Monster. And it can be...
How did you come up with that title, by the way?
Well, the Corona Monster, it kind of just... I like to say that I have the dibs on Corona Monster because I was one of the first ones to kind of put it out there into the mainstream with the book and everything. Mm-hmm. That was me, the icky, filthy, crimey, slimy, grimy, creepy Corona Monster. That part, I think it's important to introduce children to... Sometimes we think we have to really dummy down things and speak below what children can really understand. I thought it would be really cool to introduce maybe possibly some new words to describe one thing, right? So we, as adults, we think this thing's disgusting. Well, how else can we describe it, right? Icky, filthy, creepy. And then that lends itself to having additional conversations with your children, right? If they don't know what filthy means, a 4-year-old might not know what filthy means. Well, this is what filthy means, right? There's when I was doing some of the editing in the book, I have really great mentors, and some of that are in the really in the literature space and have been for some time. And they said to me, like, persistence is in the book, persistence. And they're like, well, what do you think about that? Is that too much for a 5 or 6-year-old? And I thought about it, right? Persistence. And I look at it this way. They can now have that conversation with mom and dad. So mom and dad now has to read it and then explain it, right? Not just read it, but they have to break it down. And I think that some of that time is well used when we're talking to our children. introducing them to new words, new concept, new ideas. I wanted that to be part of the book as well.
Makes sense. Like I said, it's like a multi-purpose book. So yeah, it's ingenious, I'm telling you. So yeah. Okay, so and it is available on Amazon, which I will make sure I put the link. Is it available anywhere else?
It is available on some of the smaller platforms. If you want to see any of my work, drdefinis.com. I have a whole section of my new projects, the 2 new books that I'm working on. You can see some of the illustrations. You can find all of the areas where the book is for free or paid. drdefinis.com.
Absolutely. Perfect. So just want to make sure, does anyone else have any other questions? If they do, ask them now or forever hold your peace. No, I'm just kidding. If anyone has any questions after or during the replay, because the good thing about the internet now is nothing ever goes away unless you delete it. So I'll make sure that he gets any questions afterwards. Well, thank you for coming on and talking about it. I enjoyed it. I know that if I had children, they probably would enjoy it as well. Yeah, and I hope everyone uses this as a tool in more ways than one. So, which is pretty cool. So, yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed being able to share and speak with your listeners. Thank you.
Absolutely. So the next time when you're ready for the next book to come out, make sure you let us know. So
absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity.
No, thank you for coming on.
Have a great weekend.
You too. That's right. It's Friday. So yeah. All right. So there you go. And Will, just to answer, actually, it wasn't even a question. I don't pretend to do anything. The good thing, because I've been doing this for so long, I don't know if you're still watching. I can read your comments and listen to them and comprehend what they're saying at the same time. So yeah, takes quite a bit, but I can do it. So I was paying attention to what he was saying. But I also have to read the comments at the same time. So because I don't want to miss anyone's comments like yours or questions or anything like that. So yeah, so I'm surprised because normally the show usually goes a little bit longer with guests, I've noticed, but I think it was to the point and we got the message across. And I thank Robert Definis for coming on and talking about the book. I'm going to make sure that we post a link, or I'm going to make sure I post a link to the book. You can find it on Amazon. Like he said, it's $1.99 right now. It's a quick read for those who have children and maybe need some help explaining what this icky, slimy coronavirus thing really is, and how to beat them, I think is the premise of the story. So, which is pretty cool. And I look forward to seeing other work by him. I will reach out to him and make sure that we have him on to talk about his next book that's going to be coming up. So yeah, that's going to be very interesting. So yeah, but like I said in the beginning of the video, I'm very, very, very excited that come hopefully next weekend, I will be actually putting the idea of going out and walking around or being on location somewheres, taking you to Mount Greylock or a walking trail or a farm or God knows where. A step further, it's going to happen only because we have decided to get a drone. So I'm really super, super excited about this, and I can't wait to start using it and bring more content to everyone. So yeah, look for that. I'll let you know as I go along. That's mainly going to be a YouTube thing, but also posted on my website. So, and everyone should know what my website is. So if I were you, and you have a YouTube channel or I don't think you really need one. Go to my YouTube channel, subscribe if you can do that. Yeah. So let me. I don't know if my YouTube channel is up there. No, you can just go to my my website. So there it is. There it is down at the bottom, thebrianshepherdshow.com, where you can learn more about the show. You can actually see some of the videos from past shows on there. There's a way to contact me. If we do any contests or giveaways, that's another way to get yourself some free loot from the show. The last time we gave some books away for Sylvia Schultz, who was on. We also have a show on Monday. Don't forget, I know it's out of the norm. Get used to it. I'm not on just Thursdays anymore. So you guys are going to have to get used to that. So I will be talking to Alan Stedham, who is an author from Ambassadors International. So I will be talking to him. I can't wait to talk to him. I think that would be a very interesting show, to say the least. Tuesday, I will be talking with author and actor John Jack once again, live from Scotland, because that's where he is, Scotland. Daniel Payton, goodbye. Thank you for watching. He's going to get ready for his 9 o'clock show in about 9 minutes. But yeah, so John Jack, I'm having him come back because I really would like to talk to him again. I think everyone can agree, whoever watched that show can appreciate the show. And the reason why I'm having him come back. It's pretty self-evident. So, but anyways. Yeah, so fun things are happening. And I can't wait to bring you all along for the ride. I hope that my kitchen really didn't bother anybody. I love my kitchen. Oh no, you can't see my stove. I apologize. But anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it. So it is hot. I'm gonna go. I want to thank everyone for watching. And if anyone has any questions, like I said, just post them. I'll get to them. I read everyone's comments. I like everyone's comments. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So thanks, Chris and Ashley and Kayla and my grandmother and my aunt for watching, my other sister. There's so many people watching. So, and if you're watching from YouTube, thank you for watching. And I will catch all of you on the flip side on Monday. So make sure you chime in. Goodbye, everyone, and have a fantastic weekend. Bye.